Like when he said there were good people on both sides, people were like, what do you mean? He killed some the neo-Nazis, white supremacists killed somebody. Well, when you go look at what happened and you go figure out the origin of what happened in that situation, you're like, oh, there were good people on both sides. And if you listen to it, he specifically says.
So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history. You're changing culture. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also, you had some fine people, but you also had troublemakers, and you see them come with the black outfits and with the helmets and with the baseball bats. You had a lot of bad people in the other group too.
Treated unfairly, sir. I'm sorry, I just didn't understand what you were saying. You were saying the press has treated white nationalists unfairly?
No,
I just didn't understand what you were saying.
No. There were people in that rally, and I looked the night before. If you look, there were people protesting very quietly the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. I'm sure in that group there were some bad ones. The following day, it looked like they had some rough, bad people. Neo-Nazis, white nationalists, whatever you want to call them. But you had a lot of people in that group that were there to innocently protest and very legally protest because, you know, I don't know if you know, they had a permit. The other group didn't have a permit. So I only tell you this. There are two sides to a story. I thought what took place was a horrible moment for our country.
Niggas tryna shine, but they diamonds fake. Fuck off my.
What's poppin', YouTube? What's poppin', Duck Squad? Welcome back to my channel, you dig? Before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe, turn the notification bells on. Alright, let's get started. So as y'all can see today, we talking about this story that came, or this news clip that came out. It's about minority Trump supporters. I thought it would be interesting, and I thought it would be interesting because it says minority Trump supporters challenge panel on being black in the age of Trump. I wanted to see what this was about. I skimmed through the video a little bit, you know, so it's I skimmed a little bit just because I wanted to see if it was worth watching and talking about, and I think it is. So we're gonna get right to it.
Some of my best ideas come when I'm dreaming.
Ah, gosh, and I blow my fingers off. And
make it Creative Cloud.
All right, here we go. 12 minutes.
Hello, America. I'm Mark Levin. This is Life, Liberty, and Levin. Brandon Strzok.
How do I got Wi-Fi on doing that?
Great to be here.
It's spelled Straka, but it's Strzok. Is that correct?
You nailed it.
So I'm the first one to get it right.
You're one of the first.
All right, America. It's Strzok. I want you to remember that name because it's a very important guest and a very important interview, which is why I wanted to have you on the program. You, Brandon, have started a movement called the Walk Away Movement.
Yes.
Let's start at the beginning. What is the Walk Away Movement?
Well, we started as the Walk Away campaign, and it initially began as a social media campaign. I'm a former Democrat, a former liberal. I always voted Democrat my entire adult life, and you know, I'm a gay man, and so it really for me was I kind of call myself a Democrat by default because I think that.
I think a lot of people, I would say a lot of black people in this country, me including, we grew up. Well, I can't say all of us, but the majority of us, my age or around my age, grew up Democrats, and it was by default. We don't know why. We wasn't like we really cared. We just going off what our parents or our grandparents kind of pushed us to, you know. So let's talk about it a little bit. I came to political awakening around 2016. The time Donald Trump got elected. Throughout the next few years, I really got into politics. And it wasn't. It all started because I was like, hey, how the fuck did Donald Trump become president? How the fuck did this racist dude become president? How did this shit happen, And it wasn't, I didn't, it was more not trying to bash people that voted for Trump. I just wanted to understand why. Like, why would you vote for this dude? And when I did, and people started telling me stuff, and I started really doing some research, it really changed my views and perspective on the mainstream media and politics in this country drastically, But let's continue watching this.
That the Democratic Party does this incredible job of marketing themselves toward minority groups
exactly.
in America and telling.
I 100% agree with that. They do a great job at marketing themselves towards minority groups in this country. The Democrats do a great job of that, but
telling us that we need them and telling us that we're in danger constantly from people on the right.
Always.
That Republicans hate us, that conservatives hate us, and wish to do us harm. And they've got the liberal media machine backing them up. So for me, it was kind of...
that's one big reason why I take the political stance I do. I explain it like this. You got a house. Say it's 2 rooms in this house. You got the Republican room and you got the Democrat room. Ironic, I did that with my right hand and left hand. So you got the Republican room, you got the Democrat room. And you go in the Republican room and the light is on. And you look to turn it off. There's no light switch. And you go into the Democrat room. You look, be like, why is it dark in here? Turn the light on. Turns back off. Turn the light on. Turns back off. And then you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Then you realize the Democrats own PG&E. And what I mean by PG&E, the Democrats, the media is heavily biased towards the Democrats and the left. You know what I mean? I don't literally own PG&E. Some of you people take stuff literally. But that's what really clicked to me. Like, what? Whoa, this is crazy right here. Because it was like, you don't really get any... In the mainstream media, you got Fox News, but that's really the only big conservative or Republican news station. All other ones are liberal, Democrat, whatever you want to call them. They're on that side of the spectrum. So it's like, where's all the bad news, or where's all the news that says what these people are doing? And it was like, we wasn't really getting any because they're biased. And I was like, oh, okay. This started to make sense here.
A no-brainer. I'm a gay man. I'm a liberal. I'm a Democrat. And I think that that's sort of the autopilot kind of thinking that most minorities in America go into. And I think we'll probably get into the story, but essentially after the 2016 election,
You voted for Hillary?
I did. I voted for Hillary Clinton.
So how recently?
I didn't vote for Hillary or Trump. Just to let that be known. I didn't vote for either. I voted independent.
Did you?
I voted for some guy that said he was trying to legalize weed.
So after the 2016...
What happened that caused you to convert?
Like most people, when Donald Trump announced that he was running for president, I thought it was a joke. I was laughing right along with everybody
I thought
else
it was a joke too.
Around the primary, and it became very clear that
I thought Donald Trump wasn't taking it serious. I'm like, he don't really care. He not trying to win. I didn't think he really cared. I thought he really thought he was taking it as a joke.
He was probably going to be the Republican candidate, and then all of a sudden, things got really scary because again, that liberal media machine that targets people like me and I think other minorities started using our identities against us because this is what they do.
What did you think Donald Trump was going to do to the gay community?
Exactly. That's exactly what they do. They use your identity against you. Oh, Donald Trump hates black people. Oh, he hates Mexican people. Oh, he hates gay people. Oh, he hates this. Shut the like, that shit is horseshit. That shit is literally horseshit. Because Yeah, probably like, what are you talking about? Most of the people that aren't into politics or don't pay attention to this stuff a lot, y'all be like, what are you talking about? He says this. And then you start realizing a lot of stuff that the media says he says is not true. They take it out of context to spin it and form it and shape it in this way to where it's like, that's what he said. Oh, how the fuck did he say that? Like when he said there were good people on both sides, people were like, what do you mean? He killed some the neo-Nazis, white supremacists killed somebody. Well, when you go look at what happened and you go figure out the origin of what happened in that situation, you're like, oh, there were good people on both sides. And if you listen to it, he specifically says there were good people on both sides. I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and white supremacists or Antifa. And the reason why he says that is because the origin of the Charlottesville thing was people on both sides of the political debate were coming together to have a peaceful conversation about the statue being taken down. And Antifa, which is the radical left, which some people don't know because the media protects them, and the alt-right, the white neo-Nazis, white supremacists, they came together and started the violence. So when he says there are good people on both sides, he's 100% right. But they take that and chop it and just have that part, and that's the soundbite everybody hears. I'm like, how could he say that? And this is what he's talking about. Oh, he must be racist because he said that. No, listen to the whole clip first.
Well, I mean, they were telling us that, his running mate Mike Pence was this raging homophobe who was going to try to mandate conversion therapy for gay people. I mean, there were people talking about putting gay people in concentration camps. I mean, I know it's so laughable now, but at the time it was really, really scary because as absurd as it seems to me at this point, I really believed everything that the liberal media told me. I mean, I believed that he called all Mexicans rapists. I
did too.
That he advocated for the sexual assault of all women. And so as he was gaining popularity and we were leading up to Election Day, I'm sitting here like I think many liberals and Democrats going, what is going on with conservatives in this country? Who are all these covert bigots that we didn't understand that we were living amongst? Because you have to remember, too, we had just had 8 years of Barack Obama. And so the liberal media never told us that he did anything wrong. I mean, they talked about a scandal-free press.
I swear to God. I talk about this all the time. They never talked about dirty shit Obama did. They never. The liberal media never did it. They would not do it, not once. And that's what bothers me right now. Is because every day they talk about shit that Donald Trump does. All day. They only talk about the fucked up shit. Like it's a joke going around that if Donald Trump came out in support of oxygen, the liberals will hold their breath and go, fuck oxygen, no. You know what I'm saying? That he hit it on the head.
Presidency. They talked about, this amazing savior for 8 years. And they never even really reported to us much about people on the right having issues with Obama. I mean, we just thought that this guy could do no wrong. So when all of a sudden we have, according to them, the world's biggest bigot vying for the highest office in the country, and he has all of this support, we're going, what is happening? So Election Day rolls around, and, I wasn't terribly concerned because the same liberal media told me that he had a 3% chance of winning. So there was nothing really to be afraid of.
Was they wrong?
Boy, oh boy, did we get a surprise
was they lying?
On Election
Day,
they
was
right?
wrong or they was lying.
So I was one of those people.
How did you feel?
Oh, I was shattered. I mean, I remember sitting at home watching the election results roll in. And if you'll recall, it went into the night. It was, they didn't call it early. So I ended up going to bed because I was getting so nervous. I just couldn't take it, but I couldn't sleep. So I was rolling over like every 15 minutes. And
So the night of the election, I was doing Uber. I swear to God. When they found out, I'm from San Francisco. So I was doing Uber out there. So y'all know what kind of place that is. When they found out Donald Trump won, bruh, people was depressed. I swear to God, people was depressed. I gave this Asian dude a ride. It was like a 40-minute ride. he wasn't so depressed. He was, but he was like, oh, fuck this, people didn't do their job, should have went out and voted. But this was before I was politically aware the way I am now. And I was like, bruh, it's not that big of a deal, bruh. You know, as a black dude, it wasn't that big of a deal for me. Especially growing up in the hood, you like, bro, I got bigger shit to worry about. I gotta worry about making money. I gotta worry about doing this. I gotta worry about, you know what I'm saying, not being shot. It's, bro, when you been shot at and stuff like that, all this other stuff is little. You know what I'm saying? So it was like when he won, I was like, okay, big deal. It is what it is. He won. Nothing's gonna change. Most stuff doesn't change when presidents become presidents. But people watched the liberal media and it had everybody in a frenzy. It was just crazy that that I was seeing it firsthand. People were so depressed.
You know, going to the world's most reliable source, the Huffington Post, to see, what, because I know they wouldn't lie to me. So I was trying to see what they would say. And finally, I think somewhere around 2:15 in the morning, there's Donald Trump's picture with a giant red banner on the Huffington Post that said, "Nightmare, President Trump." And then underneath the picture it said, "Millions to lose health insurance, civil rights to be rolled back, ... and other possible headlines from a Trump presidency." So they started scaring us with fake headlines, literally immediately after, like, the moment that he got elected. But still, it wasn't clear to me. I wasn't seeing, what they were doing. I was just scared to death. So I got on Facebook the next day, and I made a video crying, literally crying, saying,
see?
Why? What were you guys thinking? Why did you do this? And I spent the next couple of months.
Meaning, why did all you deplorables vote for him?
Yeah, and it's important maybe to mention that I grew up in a rural community in Nebraska, a little tiny farm town called O'Neill, Nebraska. And so a lot of my friends on Facebook and family members and people I grew up with, I knew that they had voted for Trump, even though they hadn't actually stated. I knew. And so I was just like, how could you do this? How could you do this to me? How could you do this to people like me? What were you think? How could you do it to America?
That's the same question I was asking people.
And so for about 2 months, I was posting like this, and nobody would answer me. And it was about 2 months exactly after the election, at the end of January of 2017, I wrote a post in which I said, for the life of me, I will never be able to understand how you could watch this man stand before a cheering crowd and mock a reporter's disability and still go into that voting booth and pull the lever for him. What is wrong with you?
And the media pushed that scene at that rally over again.
I remember vividly being at the gym and looking up, because they don't play Fox News at the gym or at airports, so it's always CNN everywhere you go. So I remember being at the gym and looking up at the CNN on the screen and seeing him frozen in that position with the banner underneath that said Donald Trump mocks disabled reporter. And so I put this post on Facebook, and finally somebody answered me. It was a woman named Diane, who was my babysitter when I was a baby, and she staunchly conservative. She and I had many battles over the years on Facebook, but I never unfriended her, as I did so many other conservatives who I'd had arguments with. I didn't unfriend her, and she wrote to me privately, and she said, "Listen, I don't want you to rip me a new one. I'm just asking, have you seen this?" And she sent me a YouTube video entitled "Debunking that Trump Mocked the Disabled Reporter." Now, I saw this video and I became instantly enraged just reading the title, because I thought, oh, here we go. More right-wing propaganda, more brainwashing. And then I got almost exhilarated. I was like, I can't wait to watch this and tell her how stupid she is for falling for this propaganda. So I played the video, and it was about 6 or 7 minutes of footage of Donald Trump doing that exact same voice and that exact same gesture as he did that day when he mocked the reporter's disability. But the common thread in all of these different scenes throughout the years was that he was imitating someone who was caught in a lie. Exactly. Or imitating somebody who was groveling because they had done something shady.
Exactly.
And I watched it, and Mark, I'm telling you, it was the strangest experience I've ever had in my life. I almost sort of dissociated for a moment, because there was this disconnect between my brain and my heart. Because my brain was telling me, oh my God, I don't think that he mocked that reporter's disability. My heart was saying, but we hate him, but we hate him, but we hate him. And so I couldn't reconcile within myself what had happened. And so I shut my computer. I watched it 3 times and I couldn't figure it out. So I went to bed, woke up the next day, and I watched it again. And I thought, okay, he didn't mock that reporter's disability, but why did CNN tell me that he did? Because CNN has never lied to me before.
Because they're fake news. They're fake news. That's why.
So why did they start lying today? I couldn't figure it out. So I started asking these questions and going to, I live in New York City now, so I started.
And this is what got me where I'm at. I started asking questions. When you start being curious and asking, this is why I think about this. When you a kid and you ask your parents questions a lot, they'll stop asking me questions. Because a lot of times they don't want you to know stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why in the world we live in today, people don't want you to ask questions. Because they don't want you to have these conversations. Because once you start having these conversations, you start realizing, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. I wasn't looking at this the right way. That's why they don't want you to ask questions. They want you to be dumb. They want you to follow the crowd. They want you to just go along with whatever they say because what they say is right. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. No. Ask questions, people. Start talking. Don't be so mad when people express their opinions. Listen to them. Because you might learn something. One thing I learned getting older, that I don't care who's talking. You can learn something from a homeless man. You're like, what do you mean? You can learn something from a homeless man. Because it's something to take from everybody. It's something to learn from everybody. You can learn something from a child. You know what I'm saying? Just be more open to listening to people. Even though you might not agree with them. Just hear them out. You hear them out.
Or going to other liberals, friends, co-workers, saying, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I was instantly met with this wall of hostility and contempt almost. People said, what are you doing? What are you doing? What, so you love Trump now? What are you doing? I said, I don't love Trump. I'm just trying to understand. This doesn't make any sense to me. They were very angry at me for even asking questions. Now, I thought this was strange because I thought, here we are.
Whoa, that's crazy. I just literally said they don't want you to talk about this stuff. And he talks about it. That's crazy.
We're upset all the time because he's been elected. We're crying. We're terrified. Here I am coming to you with this little piece of evidence that suggests maybe things aren't as bad as they seem. But you don't want to believe that maybe things aren't as bad. You want to be angry. I thought this is very interesting. But the point is that
brainwashed.
It became very clear to me that I wasn't safe asking these questions because people didn't want to have this conversation. So I started getting in bed every night after I was working and just watching videos on YouTube or reading stories, trying to understand, researching the media, taking moments out of context. And what I found was fascinating. I found videos of black people showing up for Trump rallies to support him. And when they showed up, CNN would cut them out of the shots.
Cut them out.
So
that's funny. See, that's CNN does that. They make it seem like it's a brigade of white people behind Donald Trump. When if they were to widen it, it's a mixture of black people, Hispanic people, women, Muslim people, gay people. It's a wide variety of people in the crowd, but they just show, let's crop it right here, get these people, because let's make it seem like, the white supremacists only support Trump. These white people, they do that. That shit is crazy to me.
Were only white people there. I watched him calling all Mexicans rapists speech.
And he said that.
And saw once again that they had taken that moment out of context, and that wasn't at all what he was saying. He didn't say anything negative about Mexicans in general. He was talking about some people being released from prison and coming over the border. And I started to see, my God.
And by the way, it reminds me of Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
And
Charlottesville, I talked about this earlier. I'll be on point.
Argument that he was saying both sides have an argument. He was endorsing the Klan and the neo-Nazis. That's not what he did.
Not at all.
He was saying both sides are good people. Pro or con those monuments.
Yes.
That there are arguments to be made, and you don't have to be a racist to say leave the monuments alone. A lot of people believe you shouldn't be book burning. You should be pulling down monuments and so forth. But even today, CNN and MSNBC try to create the notion that somehow he's a white supremacist.
Yes.
Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, no, but that's a perfect example. And interestingly, with Charlottesville, I had already at that point had my eyes open. That actually happened after these events. So that was one of the first examples that I was experiencing in real time. Because now I was like, I see what they do. And it's the kind of thing, once you see it, you can never unsee it. Once you realize what they're doing, you see it every single time.
Exactly.
So when Charlottesville happened, I already knew, and I was like, aha, they're doing it again. They're doing it again, because you're right. He certainly did not say, oh, the neo-Nazis and the KKK, great people. No. He was saying there were also historians mixed in with these people who were just simply protesting to preserve history.
Free speech people. Leave everything
Absolutely.
alone, and the warts and all, and let the American people sort it out.
Right.
Don't pull monuments down. Don't burn books. We're smart. We can figure these things out.
Yes.
And the stains are important to know about.
Yes.
No, there's a Confederate general who did this.
Right.
And that's important to know, isn't it?
That's absolutely important to know.
When we come back, as I listen to you, I want to get more into this movement and more of what you're doing, because I think it's crucially important. I want to talk about the media. Not just to talk about the media and hit on the media, but what you seem to be saying to me is, I was brainwashed. Social media, by all these people, by CNN, by MSNBC. They keep pushing this agenda.
We are being
the media
brainwashed.
Are they giving us
by
news?
the media?
Or are they giving us propaganda?
Every day, brainwashed. Hey, I gotta follow this dude. I gotta see what this dude is about. I kind of, I relate to his. Let me stop this. I relate to his viewpoint a lot because I went through the same, I would say, awakening or epiphany or whatever you want to call it. I went through the same thing he went through, and it was just like, damn, that's crazy. When you start looking at it from a different lens out of this, when everybody's over here and you stand over here and start watching everything, it's mind blowing. It really is. It's like, god damn, it's like I would have been in that. And I'm glad. It's different when you a child. I'm only 26. You know what I'm saying? The first time I voted was in 2012. How was I in 2000? I was 19 in 2012. So I didn't really have time to, get acclimated to politics. I'm 18. I'm 19. Oh, like Obama, yeah, let's go Obama, let's vote for Obama. I want the black dude to stand there. You know what I'm saying? Then fast forward, 2016, the Donald Trump stuff happened. And then another thing that kind of, what stopped me from voting for Hillary is her saying black men are super predators and the email scandal. And then the crime bill. I started doing research. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going off on a tangent. Yeah. But hey, let me know if y'all like this video. Hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Let me know if you think, bruh, you being brainwashed by Fox News, bruh. You need to do something else, bruh. You need to go watch something else. You need to watch this, and that. Or if you think, hey, if you agree that you've had the same awakening I have had over these past few years. But hey, that's the end of the video. Like I said, don't hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. You know how we end this. We out. Peace.